Float. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. I hated every minute of training, but I said don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Don't count the days. Make the days count. I'm sure we've all heard and maybe seen these motivational quotes written on posters or on motivational social media posts. There's a reason for that, as they all came from Muhammad Ali, the greatest boxer of all time. Today I will be talking about this highly revered and enigmatic man. Muhammad Ali is widely considered to be the best professional boxer of all time, paving the way for future greats like Mike Tyson. Um, he himself, by the age of 18, was already a very accomplished young athlete, having captured Olympic gold in the 1960s Olympics in Rome. Then in the year 1964, he defeated Sonny Liston by TKO and was crowned the world heavyweight boxing champion at the young age of 22. In 1967, he was barred from boxing after some controversy, but subsequently returned and suffered his first loss, unfortunately, to Joe Frazier. But then a couple years later, he came back and avenged his loss and reclaimed his World Heavyweight Championship title, making him a two-time champion. This theme of perseverance followed him, as in 1978 he would again lose via decision to a fellow Olympic champion, Leon Spinks, only to reclaim his title a few months later, making him a three-time world champion and the greatest despite all the trials that he faced. During his rise to greatness, though, he was very outspoken, charismatic, and arrogant for good reason, as he backed it up. This, however, was something that 1960s America had not yet seen from a young African American man. Following his victory over Liston, he exclaimed, "I shook up the world," which he had certainly done coming in as an underdog. In the midst of Ali's rise in the 1960s, there was a large civil rights movement going on all around him. President Obama actually wrote about him, saying, "Ali was a radical, even in the most radical of times, a loud and proud and unabashedly black voice in a Jim Crow world." He embraced the Muslim religion under the tutelage of Elijah Muhammad and also had a strained friendship with another civil rights leader, Malcolm X. Ali was also very outspoken in the face of injustice and often misunderstood by the media. Because of this, he was widely considered to be more of a people's champ. He came under a lot of fire after being an outspoken critic of the Vietnam War, and he was a draft resistor. So during this time, he was seen by a traitor by many, and that's why he was barred from boxing, as he was made a pariah in the boxing world. But he stood firm on his beliefs. His association with the vilified Nation of Islam at the time also made him a target and led him to facing criminal charges. His story, however, as I mentioned, is very much a story of redemption and an underdog. As his eventual return to the fighting world, he used a rope-a-dope technique never before seen and again shook the world. Just to sum everything up, because of all of his accomplishments, Muhammad Ali is the greatest inside and out the ring, as his greatest achievement is the influence that he's had on generations to come. He was always arrogant and outspoken and often controversial, which in the 1960s made him a villain to many people. Despite this and the adversity he faced in his career, he was often misunderstood. He stuck to his principles, and he was truly the people's champ. A recent essay actually referred to Ali's life as the essence of freedom, as the true essence of freedom, and the First Amendment embodied. Thank you.